Hello everyone, I'm Yusuf Ragh, visual artist, illustrator, and associate professor of art education. In my 22 years of teaching art, I've come across many people who say they can't draw. Most of the time what they mean is that they can't depict things in a realistic manner. And even though that is just one form of drawing, they still think it looks bad when they do it. So if you want to draw realistically and afraid to fail, then this warm-up exercise is tailor-made for you. There are four main problems people face when trying to draw for the first time. Number 1, no idea what to draw. Number 2, you might have an idea, but your drawing does not look very realistic. Number 3, you're afraid to ruin the blank paper and fail miserably. Number 4, your lines kinda look weird. We will address those four issues in an easy, fun to do exercise that will give you quick results. If you find this method interesting, please let me know in the comments, as well as what you might want me to cover in upcoming videos. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Now let's get started.
Number 1. No idea what to draw. You can start with anything, but for this exercise, my advice is to start simple. Try Googling some line drawings of natural elements, plants, sea creatures, birds, or insects. Save the human form, animals, or buildings for more advanced exercises later. Print out the images you like most and make sure to make them fit the paper size. Number 2. My drawings never look realistic. Once you choose a picture to start with, try to find which geometric shapes make up the object you're drawing. Is it made of ellipses, circles, triangles? Revert all the forms that make up the object into their original basic geometric shapes. Use your pen to measure how big or small those shapes are in comparison to each other. Find if some of the shapes start or end at the same level as other shapes. Do that until you get a good reading of most of the shape proportions in your drawing. Number 3. You're afraid to spoil the blank paper with the wrong lines. There's actually a name for that. They call it Vacancy Paper phobia, which is the fear of blank paper. In order to get rid of that fear, do the following. Stand up while drawing. This way, you will literally have the upper hand both physically and psychologically. Dominate your paper. Use a pen, not a pencil, so there's no turning back once you start drawing. This gets the adrenaline rushing and it will make you focus more. Hold your pen the way you hold a piece of chalk, not how you hold it while writing. This way, your hand and wrist will gain more flexibility to move around the paper space easily. And finally, before you start drawing, get rid of the annoying empty space by doing large random scribbles. Those will also give your sketch a dynamic feel after you're done. Number 4. My lines look weird. If you want your lines to look good, make sure they flow freely without interruption. Many people cut up their lines and end up with furry-looking lines. Those give the impression of a line that is hesitant, as if it is stopping every inch along the way to ask for directions. So let's start drawing some self-confident lines. Keep your lines flowing and don't lift your pen off the paper until you're done. While drawing, keep an eye for proportions, as explained in the previous step. If you need to fix a line, draw on top of it from start to end. Remember, don't cut up your lines no matter how much you're used to it. In your first few trials, draw as many lines as you like to get the shapes and proportions right. But as you progress, try to decrease the number of lines to keep your drawing looking graceful and not overworked. Practice with different elements as many times as you can, and it will ease you into the world of drawing without fear. As you gain more confidence, you can choose more complex objects like flowers. When drawing those, you might be tempted to start by drawing the branches first, but the main masses lie in the flowers themselves, so start identifying the geometric shapes that make the flowers or the clusters of buds and where they're located in the picture. Then draw the branches and leaves. Keep your hand movement loose, more scribbling than drawing, as if you're being careless on purpose. Remember, we already ruined the paper from the very beginning, so there's nothing to fear. Keep adjusting and fixing the lines with more scribbles until you get all the shapes in the right proportion. When you're finally comfortable with using your pen, you can switch to ink and brush. Dip your brush in some drawing ink, then scrub the hairs against a piece of paper until you get rid of most of the ink load. This dry brush technique will give you faint gray lines to outline your main geometric shapes easily without leaving permanent black marks on the paper. It would also intuitively ease you into copying light and shadow by varying the intensity of the gray shades according to the amount of ink in the brush. Try to spot where light, medium shadows, and dark shadows are before you start adding them in with the brush. The different degrees of shadow are called values or tones in art jargon. So we have light values, mid values, and dark values. Before you start, you might want to try this technique with a medium-sized round watercolor brush, maybe a size 6 or 8, on a separate piece of drawing paper. In my upcoming videos, I'll be demonstrating more brush techniques for a variety of exercises.
If you like my method and want to see more of my upcoming art tutorials, please hit the subscribe button below. Thank you for watching.